Okay. Now, inevitably, this is our little spiel about the audio. To me, headphones, Bose, headphone speakers, blah, 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 sounds crispy as a cracker. I can hear my nostrils. It's so crispy. So I don't know what to do on the user end to make the audio any better. But I see you, I hear you, and I don't care. I'm kidding. Of course I care. Nothing bothers me more than audio that's messed up when I'm trying to listen to something. So I don't know how to fix it because on my end it sounds good. Yeah, thanks guys. Um, we'll get started here in a few minutes. We out here, says Switch. Yeah, I'll get started in a few. There's really not much to talk about, honestly. It's a lot of chop. Got to talk about politics, unfortunately. Gonna be an interesting situation there. Gonna talk about the post-mortem of me being drained on one of my DeFi wallets. Hopefully, help people not get the same fate as me. All right, let's get started. Now, I don't want to talk about this, but again, if it helps anybody, just security measures. DeFi super risky. I knew that. Everybody knows that. The approval process for tokens and transfers could use some work on the user interface end. Not that I'm blaming MetaMask here. I was using MetaMask, using Brave. I had used Ravi on Chrome. I'm just telling you all this for the full post-mortem here. So I'd use this wallet exclusively for GMX, Arbitrum. It was a public address, so that's a problem. I'm a public person, that's a problem. You can see this wallet is constantly pinged with nonsense, which I just assumed is pretty normal for DeFi. If I don't know if this is a me thing or I don't know, right? So a couple days ago, I claimed some affiliate money in GMX. Was this day? No, sorry, that was too long ago. Where was it? Here it is. So 4 days ago, I claimed some affiliate money. I hadn't done anything after that, and then I logged into the wallet yesterday, and I realized, wait a minute, why don't I have the money that I have in here? So it was $77,000 that got drained out. It is what it is. I can't do anything about it. I'm assuming there was some sort of approval that I shouldn't have approved, but looking at the token approvals in the wallet, there isn't anything there. So I don't know. I still don't know exactly what happened. Potentially, this is related to whatever this token is. It's like a fake BTC token. So I'm guessing I may have approved some, you approve the amount for the 5 people who know what I'm talking about here. You approve an amount, a max amount of transfer or something, and I'm assuming that that's what did it. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm trying to see. So they sent 36 days ago this dispersed token thing. I think this is part of the scam, but I don't know. Again, I have no clue. So if you're interacting with GMX or DeFi, definitely keep your wallet segregated. Definitely keep your security measures high. And if you're not using the coins, so this is Arbitrum, it costs cents to send things back and forth. I could have easily, in between trades, just sent the coins back to Kraken, which is what I usually do when I'm not trading. But I was getting ready to trade the inverted head and shoulders that I'm going to talk about on stream today through GMX. And again, it is what it is. It's shitty. It sucks. I'm just talking about this because it happens to a lot of people. And if if this helps anybody, that's a win, you know? So that's that. Don't feel sorry for me. Don't throw a pity party. What else is funny about this? So there's this dark forest analogy with Ethereum, and you can think of it like a Little Red Riding Hood into the literal dark forest where there's like bots, everybody's trying to sandwich each other and steal from each other. So it looks like this bot, so this address here, this BEA address, it looks like a different bot attempted some sort of phishing attack with a similar address. It's probably hard to see on stream, but this 0x8A7, it's a similar address. The first four and last four are the same. So all sorts of nonsense. So anyway, if you're doing this, if you're on GMX, if you're on any DeFi application, definitely keep things segregated. You definitely have to pay attention to what you're approving. I wouldn't use MetaMask. I would use a hardware wallet. Rabby is something I would use. I would keep on there whatever you can afford to lose. You know, this is one reason why you segregate things and you don't keep everything in one spot. So anyway, that's that. It is what it is. Unfortunate. Not something that I wish upon anybody. You always got to make sure that you are reading the approvals. You know, I didn't think there was anything I did, even looking back on the transactions here. It doesn't to me look obvious what exactly happened, other than that like fake BTC, this thing. I don't know. My guess is the scam is to like try to confuse people with wrapped Bitcoin versus Bitcoin. This is just some fake token called BTC, and I probably just did something where it got approved and that was enough. But the weird thing was, like, they had sent me that fake BTC 36 days ago, and yesterday was when they drained the wallet. Also, they didn't drain all of the wallet. They just drained 3 of the tokens. I had some SOL in the wallet as well. That was still there. I had some ETH on the ETH side of the wallet. That was still there. So I don't think they got control of like my private key or anything. But anyway, be careful out there, folks. Be careful, vigilant. Make sure you're on the up and up with your security and you know what you're doing, because it is very easy to lose money. So keep that in mind. All right, Bitcoin. There's really not much to say. Legacy's pulling back. We'll take a look at that. Legacy was overheated. Legacy is rotating around between tech and IWM based on rates coming down, based on a potential Trump presidency. Today, the best thing for crypto, okay, this has nothing to do with the country, businesses, taxes, your life, but the best thing for crypto is a Trump victory. A Trump victory is easiest if Biden is his for sure opponent. Over the past couple of days, it looks like Biden increasingly won't be Trump's opponent. I think he loses to Kamala pretty easily based on the polls, but Biden, to me, is probably the easiest way Trump wins. So to see Biden potentially stepping down is bearish for the market, because that means Trump's victory isn't necessarily a shoo-in. That's my read on what's going on here. But as far as the cycle is concerned, for Bitcoin, we are 90 days post-halving. Most of the fun doesn't start until after 100 days after halving. Realistically, like 130 days after halving. This brings us into Q4 again. Then, like, everything's aligning to Q4. We have the election uncertainty done. We have rates down slightly, probably. What else is going on Q4? We have liquidity up, probably. So now is a good time to be doing nothing, honestly. Really, I haven't done anything. Again, all he was doing on this wallet was what's it called? Hedging. I was hedging longs. I wasn't even trading really. So, you know, it wasn't like the money was just sitting there and I wasn't doing anything, but I could have easily just gone back and forth. Anyway, so for cycle wise, if we were on day 300 and we're down here, then that's an issue. Day 400, that's an issue. Up until day 150. We could be right here for another couple months. So there really just isn't anything to do. Looking at Bitcoin from cycle lows, it's the same thing based on the past 2 cycles. The future, or the past doesn't predict the future, but we're in the roadmap, we're in the blueprint, we're in the wheelhouse of where we should be in this black line here, compared to the previous 2 cycles. So again, I wouldn't expect much. I don't think most people are generally trading here, but I wouldn't force anything. I wouldn't be angry that trades aren't working. It's just not the time. It's not the time, You'll know when it's the time. Most people that are in the stream remember Q4 2023. That was bonkers. The tough part is being ready to size up on that stuff ahead of time. Like, prep yourself today for Q4 so that you're ready to fully be wherever you want to be, position-wise, leverage-wise, whatever. You're just ready to go, whether it's DCAing now for Q4, for 2025, whatever. But you don't want to get to Q4 or Q1 2025 and say, man, I should have been doing X, Y, Z, when you had plenty of time. So performance since the cycle low, again, isn't really telling us much. To me, it says we have another 500, 600 days if we follow a similar path to the last 2 cycles, which brings us into 2025. What else we got? Sorry to hear that. Yeah, I don't know if Rabbi would have helped me or not, but that's on me. Again, I can't, look, I knew what I was getting into. It is what it is. I'm upset at myself more than anything. It's real unfortunate. DCA into what? Yeah, exactly, Mustafa. I don't think you need to DCA personally, not financial advice. I don't think you need to DCA into anything else. Maybe miners, maybe MSTR, maybe coin if you're on the legacy side. That's all fine, I guess. Or just the ETFs, or just spot. River.com, free DCA. That's your best bet. Either that or Kraken. But there's really not much to do here. On the bullish checklist, Germany's officially done selling as of this week. They put out a press release or something that they're finished. Great. The GOX coins apparently are 65% distributed to potential exchanges. I don't think they're distributed to individuals yet, but that's based on a GOX creditor communication where they said 65% of the coins were sent. Yeah, hopefully Burns, I can write that off on taxes. We still have miners capitulating. I'll take a look at that. I still think the ETH fees are going to be 2.5%, which is 10 times higher than all competition. And we go back to the same argument we had with GBTC. Will we see people selling because of the fees? Will we see people wanting to pay some sort of long-term capital gain on that? Will we see the arbitrageurs for the discount coming out of that? I think the answer to all that is yes, to some degree. It's just a matter of how long it's going to take to get the ETH out of there. It took GBTC roughly 30 days, and that aligned with this right here. Boom. ETFs went live, we sold off, we recovered because we had momentum on our side, and eventually the pendulum swung in the direction of bullish continuation. We overpowered the outflows. I don't know if that's going to be the case necessarily right now for ETH. I'm not trying to FUD the price. I'm just saying, look, I don't think there's a clear direction immediately until we figure out how bearish are the outflows going to be. I don't know. Again, you've got people with claims from FTX. You've got Genesis claims. You've got Grayscale people selling, I'm sure. So we just have to wait till see how the dust settles. And if I pull up ETH, we could just do something like this for the next 3 months into October, and then break out of this So I don't think just because we have an ETF means that this will be bullish. I think it's very much a wait and see. What do the flows look like? What do the outflows look like? What do the net flows look like? What does legacy look like? What does Bitcoin look like? If Bitcoin was at 72 going to 80, I'd say, yeah, it's probably going to be pretty bullish for ETH. But if Bitcoin is sitting here sideways doing nothing in the summer months, going into a seasonally negative period in August and September, I think those outflows may have a little bit more of an impact than people initially think. So I'm on the bearish side first and then wait and see. As far as the rest of the technicals, we're above the 200-day moving average. We're below the 20-week moving average. Alligator, I think, let's turn that on. I think the alligator, we are still inside of the alligator. Alligator is just a 3, 5, or 5, 8, 13? 5, 8, 13. Let's hide the cloud. All right, so alligator, we're starting to get above the alligator. It's just another fast trend indicator. Let's just take a look at this. Okay. So what do we want on the alligator? Green, red, blue. Okay, it's just the fastest moving average at the top, followed by the next two. We're getting there. This is not a full cross yet on the alligator. Much like January in the inverted head and shoulders, you get a full alligator cross. May, inverted head and shoulders, you get a full alligator cross. And I'm assuming we're going to get a similar pattern in an alligator cross here. Will that go to 72? Will that go above 72? I don't know, but it should be some sort of bullish attempt. So that isn't now. If we zoom in on this, you don't often see rising head and shoulders patterns like this inverted. We saw this on gold. That took months and months and months. So this is a very compressed version of that. But just because it doesn't look like the cookie cutter version, I still think we see this, at least an attempt. I think we're in the right shoulder territory here. This could take 2 weeks. This could take us into August, and we'll see. There's no promises here because on the low time frames, we've got this going on. You know, this is that's head and shoulders. That's bearish. So I just don't think TLDR there's anything to do here really until we break out, probably in the next 2 weeks, break out above 65.5 if we do. If we do. So I'll come back to that. But so we are technically, I guess we are technically above the alligator, right? Technically? Yeah, we're above the alligator. So I can move that checkbox over. That's good. Let's move that. There we go. On the 20-week, we're just underneath it. So hash ribbons look at hash rate. And if the hash rate is rising, there's no signal here on hash rate or hash ribbons because hash ribbons only print this red background when there is a declining hash rate. So last halving in 2020, we saw similar declines in hash rate. After having, without a gigantic rise in price, you're going to see miners who were previously on the edge of profitability being unprofitable. So they have a choice. They either shut off their rigs or they just sell everything immediately or they mine at a loss. Those are their choices until price comes up or fees come up. Looking at the 30-60-day moving average of hash rate, it's starting to recover. It's not quite fully, well, it's not close to crossing back to bullish yet. So this still signals hash rate is declining. Hash rate declining is suggestive of miners shutting rigs off. Miners shutting rigs off is telling you that they're having problems with profitability here. if they're having problems with profitability, on balance, they're selling more than they are holding. And we need to find some sort of equilibrium with the miners first. If we look at the Puel multiple, which is basically, are the miners fat and happy at the very top? There's a ton of unrealized profit in all these bubble highs. Are they doing super well this is a comparison over the past year, or are they not doing so well? Are they in pain? And they're closer to being in pain. If we zoom in on this, it's at 0.88. So it's not exactly at some mega turbo low, but they aren't having a great time on aggregate. So we still have that to eat through. Now looking at hash rate, where was it? Looking at hash rate individually, it looked like it was starting to recover. So it's not going to be a coincidence that Gox will be done, Germany will be done, ETH will be done, and the hash rate will stabilize. Those are the things. It's all right here. It's all here, right? This is probably going to be fully crossed off by Q4. We're going to be above trend metrics, hopefully, by Q4. And we're going to get better trades, better setups. Right now, there just isn't anything like that I want to touch. I know there's like some low time frame stuff, but it's not for me. I don't know. We'll definitely look at Bitfarms, Hood, PLTR. I should probably write these down just because I always say I'm going to, and then I forget, and then I feel bad when the stream is over because I was like, yeah, I'm going to look at those, and then I never do. Aerodrome, you guys got to give me the ticker because a lot of times I don't know. I assume that's just Aero, but I'll check. Miners, Hood, all of Legacy is pulling back, which I think is necessary. It was way overbought. PLTR, we'll look at semis, SMH, we'll look at IGV, we'll look at Commodities. COPEX looks like a giant head and shoulders. XLE we'll take a look at. Disney, sure. IREN, that's miners, we'll definitely look at all those. What else was on here? SSV. Somebody wanted me to look at Ford as well. We'll take a look at that. Square Coin, yeah, we'll take a look at all those for sure. Okay, yeah, if you guys have anything else, just give it a shout out in the box. The ETFs have been doing well. Flows have been rising, which is good. We've been chewing through Germany selling. This is probably an underreported graph that cumulative flows are above 16 billion. So, you know, all this looks good. It's just we have so much selling right now, and we have so much uncertainty with the election and the Fed. It's just it's going to take time, you know. It takes a lot of time. There's a lot of money up here that's changing hands, and it's more money changing hands than ever has changed hands because we're at all-time highs. You know, the 60K, 65, whatever. We haven't really lived up here for a lot of time historically. So it takes more money. Every dollar higher, it takes more money to buy for each seller. I know that sounds obvious, but that's part of what's going on here. SMLR, sure. Sounds fine on his phone. See, I'm not gonna shit talk the commenters who tell me then I need to fix something. But this man in the UK on his phone, or woman, is saying that it's fine. Toast, ARC. I think Burns is just Burns Baja. It's almost like I've talked about these before. The issue with a lot of these is like some of them look good enough to trade. Uber, SMCI. I'm in these trades, okay? I'm eating shit with you, but they looked good enough to trade, and now they look like today's a good stop out day. ARC I would never touch, but we'll take a look at it. SMLR is the poor man's MSTR. We'll take a look at that. Thanks, Burns. Yeah, that's what I do with everybody. Everyone's stream, everyone's podcast, I always watch the recording on 2x when I'm doing something else, just because people talk slow, including me. Okay, Bitcoin. We talked about the cloud. We talked about patterns. Time frame on this is 1 to 2 weeks. If we look, just if I pull up the gold, I think it helps to see examples of this, not to like confirm anything, but just like, yeah, that is possible. If you remember way back here, if we go to like the weekly, this is what I think we're setting up for on BTC. We had this massive rising neckline, depending on how you want to draw this, but my interpretation is a rising neckline on gold. Now you could also say, well, you know, the neckline was here and whatever, but my read on this at the time was rising. It still broke out as expected. It's probably more bullish to see it rising, honestly, but we'll see. We'll see. So that's what I'm expecting on a lower time frame for BTC is something. This is the big thing to watch. The first thing that we needed to get straightened out was this downward trend line, which is basically the pitchfork. Where is it? It's like, it was like here. You can see there's clearly some sort of trend channel that was going on, right? We're out of that. Okay, great, perfect. You could have traded that. I talked about that on a video. I said, I think this was Sunday, maybe? I'd have to go back. I said something about 4-hour breakout. You can trade that. I think this trade is done on the long side in the near term because I think, again, that there's a low time frame head and shoulders here. It just does not look bullish at all. You've got shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder, whatever. It would need to break 65 to negate the low time frame bearishness. We're still in the daily cloud. Daily cloud's still mixed. All this stuff says just wait. What do we want to see? We want to see exactly what we saw in February. Ideally, this takes 3 weeks. This takes 4 weeks. We get like some crazy elongated shoulder where we dip to like 60, 61, we come back, and then we get some sort of breakout. And all the cloud settings, all the cloud metrics can catch up. We've also got a case for, I'm not a Wyckoff guy, so I'm probably butchering this, but we've got a case potentially for some sort of Wyckoff accumulation. I don't know. I'd have to pull up a schematic. So I think, let me pull it up because now it's going to bother me. Wyckoff accumulation. Can I copy this into? I cannot. Let's do it here. There we go. Let's go back to BTC. Let's go to a fresh chart. Oh, Coinbase. Sure, we'll get rid of that. Okay. The problem with Wyckoff is it's super subjective. This would be reaccumulation range. Does it qualify as that? I don't know. Does it look good enough to me? I think so. You've got that. You've got this. You've got spring. So we're like right here on this potentially. Do I have any idea what I'm talking about? Probably not, but sure, possible. It's close enough. So what are the next things to watch for? Right shoulder, eventual higher high, And then eventually the real slam dunk is the sign of strength up here. Whether that's down here, something at the top of the range, a consolidation back at 72. That would be very bullish. If we rewind the clock, again, I'm always looking for previous examples of this crap because it's all we have, right? If we rewind the clock to 2016, the best example of Wyckoff you're ever going to see, textbook completely. There's the upper part of the range. Here's the lower part of the range. That's the spring. And then we get this huge sign of strength thing all the way up here. This took 250 days. I don't think it's going to take another 250 days to break out if we consolidate. But just something to compare and to think about. All this is again saying, I don't see anything here to do. There's just nothing to do, right? There's just nothing to do, but wait. You could say, I'm going to bid the bottom of the range. Okay. Is there anything to do here? I don't think so. I don't think so. Anything else on BTC we can talk about? I don't think so. Just reading chat. This should have broken down, by the way. So we're still not out of the woods there. This whole thing is very much, are we going up or down? We were on the edge of a cliff, and then the failed assassination attempt happened, and we bounced. Why? Because Bitcoin is the Trump trade. Bitcoin is associated with, bullish Bitcoin is associated with Trump in the White House. Plain and simple. It's associated with easier regulatory conditions and a more friendly White House to crypto. So again, if the polls start to go against him, expect crypto to come down with that. Expect the miners especially to come down with that. If a more suitable challenger emerges for him, expect that to get priced in. You know, so it's just a lot of chop and nothing, I think. ETH. I don't see anything here. I guess you could, similar to BTC, you could say it's like a purer version. My air just kicked on. I hope you guys can't hear that. It might be on the audio. I'm not sure. This is like a easier to read inverted head and shoulders. The low time frame, you can see it here on ETH. You know, you tell me, you ask 15 people what they think of this pattern who know technical analysis, they're going to tell you head and shoulders all day. Okay. You've got a peak, two shoulders, pretty clear, horizontal. So I would expect this to break down. It doesn't need to break down far. It doesn't need to go anywhere. It's just, you know, this goes to like 33. Okay, cool. 3,300. That may be the bottom of the shoulder. That would be another trade to think about. To get pre-positioned for, let's say you're bullish now and you want to bid somewhere, you know, that's where I would bid, is down there at 32, 33, which by the way is similar to the shoulder, the left shoulder. That's just how I'd read that. Would I go big on that? I wouldn't. Would I size that up? No. Would I leverage that? Would I go 100x at 33? No. Okay. But it's something you could do. It's a trade you could take if you really wanted to take a trade. I wouldn't short this either here, just because there's a low time frame pattern. I don't think this is really shortable, but it's probably going down. On high time frames, is there anything to do? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think the next thing, to me, the next best trade is just going to be, what can we do, 12 hour? It's either going to be a break of 35. Where does this measure? I had it on here, 35 to 4,000. But we've got ETFs on the 23rd, which is next Tuesday, potentially launching. I don't know. You know, if you want to take that trade, you're legging into it and hoping this goes lower. The pattern looks pretty good, but I would just be careful with the ETH stuff. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of initial demand. First day, there's going to be a big number because there's already some people lined up, but after the first week, I'm not so sure. So I'd be careful with that. There's also this bigger horizontal resistance, but hey, if it can get above 4,000, sure. The cloud is neutral. Doesn't really tell you anything, just like BTC. There's not really anything going on here trend-wise. It's just important to remember this feeling of nothingness when you are seeing stuff like we saw in Q3 and Q4 last year into Q1 this year. Just got to remember that you got to tell yourself, this is for me, I'm self-talk here. You got to say, hey, this is the time that I need to be adding and putting the pedal to the metal, pedal to the floor or whatever, and sizing up appropriately if you think we're in a bullish swing. So that's ETH. Sol. Yeah, we'll look at NVIDIA too. Sol looks fine. Technically, it's better. It looks better than BTC and ETH. It's back above the cloud. The cloud signals are mixed here because you've got bearish TK cross, bearish cloud. You're still dealing with this larger triangle thing. It looks fine, right? You know, it's better to trade this on trend when you get the full signal package of bullishness, but nothing says you can't start buying any of this here. You know, it's just, what is your time horizon? What is your risk? I wouldn't use leverage here necessarily in a big way. Anything above 5x I think is silly. But if you wanted to accumulate something, BTC, ETH, and Sol both look fine to me up here. You don't want to see this back below the cloud. You don't want to see this below 128. But it looks okay. Looks fine. You know, it's just what's going to be the next big ETF hubbub is going to be Sol, if we even see that. I doubt it initially, but this goes back to the political stuff. If the SEC is a little looser on their regulatory stance, maybe we see a Sol ETF. Maybe we see staking and ETH. You know, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't go balls deep, as Joey said. Joey suggested. Is there any other alts you guys want me to look at? Because honestly, nothing really looks good to me. I think I said whiff. There could be a trade here. It's above the 4 hour. It's got a double bottom. It's above the cloud. Do I want to trade whiff right now? I don't, but I could see there being a setup. Everything else is just recovering. It's probably a terrible sign, by the way, still, for probably months now that we've seen meme coins at the top of this list on Kraken. Volume-wise, nobody cares about anything else. All they care about is the gambling side, which is fine, but as a sentiment gauge that tells you the tech, the fundamentals of all this other junk just isn't where it needs to be. What is Jup doing? Jup also double bottom. I think a lot of the Sol stuff, because Sol is doing decently okay, a lot of the Sol beta is doing decently okay. Aerodrome. Yeah, Arrow's not on Kraken. We'll take a look. Right? It's not on Kraken. You want Aerodrome or Aerobud? Aerodrome? Is this it? I mean, what is there to say? It's up only. Looks great. When you see stuff like this, I assume there's some sort of unlock that happened. I don't know. Yeah, crypto is last decade. We're all about meme coins now, buddy. We're not about the tech. Screw the tech. Aerobud, I don't really think is a thing. Yeah, Aerodrome. It looks okay. Is it a buy for me here? No. Is it bullish on a low time frame trend? Sure. It also looks fake. It looked fake on the way down. It looks fake on the way up. So I'd be careful. I'd be careful with that. Aerobud. Okay, so people are saying it is real. Sure. No, that doesn't look real to me. Doesn't look real to me. Yeah, FET was another one that looked okay. The issue here broadly is like, okay, FET, some of this stuff looks okay with JUP, SOL. Would you rather trade the extremely highly volatile plus or minus 25% a day crap? Or would you rather just, during times of uncertainty, trade the stuff that probably does well in the long term and come back to the beta when momentum is clear? That's my argument. Trade Pepe when ETH is bullish. Okay. Pepe is in some sort of range. It looks okay. It probably pops with ETH ETF news, but I don't know. Is this something I want to touch here? Not really. Not really. Why not just trade BTC, ETH, and SOL? That's what I don't get. It's a meme. They donate to animal shelters. Ah. Yeah, FET similar to WIF has that double bottom stuff going on. Double bottom and or inverted head and shoulders potentially. It's just stuff down the list is going to do better when the top three are looking better. I talked about this on the alt video. Like you want this or this. This is not it right now for me. Why force this when you can just wait? Just wait it out. Wait for Q4. I'm telling you, you put all your money in short-term treasuries until Q4, you will be so happy. You will be so happy. NFA. All the other layer ones, I don't really see anything anywhere. Near, AVAX, DOT, Ripple, it doesn't matter what it is. It does not look good here. Just chop. Just massive, giant chop. Tau, Link, we can go down the list. Chop. Not saying they can't bounce. I just don't see a setup or trade here for me, and they're not bullish on trend. It's just chop. Link is in the same place it was in November. It's done nothing. This is another reason why you get two types of people with altcoins. You get the crazy community members who are like, this is going to solve cancer, and this is going to take us to Mars, and this is going to cure childhood hunger. And the other people who are like, you know what? It's probably none of that stuff. It's probably just a trade, and I'm going to treat it like that. So Link ranged before November. It ranged for over a year, had less than a month of up, and now it's ranging again. Now this is a broad range. Both of these were broad ranges that you could trade, but man, That is a brutal, for anybody holding this, that's brutal. Absolutely brutal. Do they have link BTC? You know, this should always be your guide, is trading this even worth it compared to Bitcoin? This is, it's also gone nowhere against Bitcoin. It's only lost value against Bitcoin. I think I saw a low time frame head and shoulders at the bottom here. Yeah, there it is. I guess on the daily. Again, tell me, bring 15 people who know technical analysis. Ask them what they think this is. Down here. What do you think this is? Bullish? You think this is bullish? No, not bullish. Not bullish. So against BTC, Link does not look great. TIA, because people troll me about TIA. All of these have a head and shoulders in the making. They are not there yet. Maybe by this time next week we'll see something with the ETH stuff, but that's your pattern. TIA just had a failed Adam and Eve that looked really good. Broke down. Okay. Let's see if the measurement worked out. So any failed pattern, if it's a reversal or bullish continuation, you measure it higher. If it's a failed pattern like this was, if we zoom in a little bit, you measure it lower. So it hit those targets. Now we get another pattern. The bullish argument would be back to the previous range. If this breaks down, where are we going? Sub 3. Sub 3 if this breaks down, which is almost back to the listing price. Just an argument to not trade this and to trade anything else. Just wait. Just wait it out. Daily Cloud, I bet you, is still bearish. It is. Deeply bearish. Trend is not on your side here. It hasn't been on your side since March. When everybody was telling me, oh man, just wait. All these airdrops you're going to get, staking TIA. Free money, bro. Free money. Stake and get rich, bro. That's what they told me. Ondo, is Ondo on Kraken? It is. So yeah, TS bearish, it's got a pattern to watch. Ondo is very messy. This is some RWA nonsense, right? There's nothing here. It's ranging. There's just nothing here. The harder part about this too is like, okay, the times in which there's a window to actually trade this is so slim, because again, we're talking about the middle of May to the end of May. This was the up move. So you still have to watch these like a hawk, right? Because you had this pattern, broke out, whatever, great, cool. Maybe you're holding it, maybe you're not. But what is this here? This is nothing. This is nothing. Absolutely nothing. Needs time. Needs time. And we can go through every single alt imaginable, and there's just nothing. Was there anything else? AVAX. All of these do not look good. I just don't. Use whatever system you want. Let's check out the alligator. On AVAX, alligator got you in a little bit earlier. It's still bearish here though. Just says wait. Everything just says wait. Just says wait. ENA, until things look bullish again, ENA might be in a nice sustained downtrend, but it's trying to recover depending on your risk appetite. You could say, just like you said with Bitcoin, hey, this is a 4-hour breakout upcoming on the cloud. That's a trade to take. It's not for me. I tried to take this trade up here, got stopped out. This pattern looked way better than whatever this is here. which, by the way, if we measure this down, pick any value in this range, you got your expected level on the downside. It's just like BTC. We've got this bearish pattern. And if it doesn't break down, then we measure it higher. And it measures to slightly under 100K. It's just wait and see. Wait and see. Boring, I know, but it is what it is. You got to be slow to hire and quick to fire, as they say. Slow to take the trade. It's got to fit very specific criteria. If you want to make money over time, have a system that works, and be quick to say, you know what? It's not working out. Doge, same thing. It's like, what is this? What is this? This is nothing. Maybe a low time frame right shoulder, right? You could say, well, just like every other chart we've looked at today, there's some sort of something trying to happen. It's going to take time. The next place to trade this is 127. Wait for the right shoulder. Wait for it to come back. Because it looked great up here, just like ENA did, right? Another trade I took. This looked better here than it does now. And that didn't play out. So you just, to me, it's always a benefit to just wait. Wait it out. Wait it out. Andy. We'll take a look here. Then we'll move to legacy. Andy. Oh, buddy, Andy. Is this the right chart? I don't even know. I mean, what about this is bullish to you? It's funny, I just tell people to give me coins to talk about, to shit talk them. So you have this thing that broke down, didn't quite reach the target, but you got plenty of advanced warning that that wasn't bullish continuation. Down here, I don't know. Nothing. Nothing. Can we get a dyno in here, XRP? I don't know what that means. When in doubt, wait it out. I agree, Dave. I don't know why Ripple was up over the past week. Nothing about this chart historically has said anything about bullishness. Even if we go to like a Bitstamp, let's go to a Bitstamp. Let's look at the entire history. I have an alert at 64 cents, by the way. It barely missed the, the alert. If we look at Ripple back to inception, it's done nothing. It's done absolutely nothing. Q4, right? Q4, I'm telling you, all this junk is going to pop off. Same with ARK. ARK is a great example because it is the biggest pile of junk. All they do constantly, their rebalancing strategy is to sell the winners. They were selling coin. They were selling hood. They sold Tesla. They sold Nvidia before the breakout. Okay, they just don't have the ability to hold on to stuff. Nevertheless, what is this chart telling me? Hey, think about Q4. Think about post-September. That's what it's signaling. It's signaling, get ready for Q4. You could say, well, is this some sort of wedge, a triangle? I don't know. Could be, whatever. Whatever. But there are a lot of charts that look like this, including Square. I think Square is a great business. Where is it? I think Square is a great business. But it's done nothing. Undeniably done nothing since mid-2022. Similar chart. Wait for Q4. Yeah, we'll take a look at Tesla. Wait for Q4. Trade something else. Set alerts on this. You know, there's nothing to do. There's absolutely nothing to do. There's a potential mega inverted head and shoulders here, but it, again, like the time to trade this on the top side is at 84, not at 68, when it's still in the range, at least for me. I see miners having more of a day today. All right, let's just go to miners then. I'm trying to think about the timestamps in my head so that the rewatch enjoyers are satisfied with the timestamps. WGMI is the ETF basket for the miners. We did have a breakout here. This was a new multi-month high. It still looks fine. It's just if you are tied to one political candidate or one side of the aisle, any opposition to that is going to be bearish. Any confirmation that they're coming into the White House is going to be bullish. That's just the way it is. So that doesn't help. That's a headwind, not a tailwind. As previously it was a tailwind. The technicals still look good. I still like this chart. Doesn't look horrible. Broke out, pulled back. Okay. Still bullish on trend. Still looks better than BTC. It looks better than most of crypto. It probably just needs more time. What could this morph into is the question. Maybe we see this stuff again. Some sort of megaphone wedge, blah, blah, blah. I don't even know. Right? Something like this. But it looks okay. Is it a trade here? I don't think it's a trade here unless you want to buy support at like 20. Looks okay. Marathon broke out, pulled back. Still in the range since November. It's in a massive, potentially markup, really nasty looking markup phase. Because this was a head and shoulders. Is it a triangle? There's nothing. There's nothing. So the next thing to watch for is cloud signals to fully flip. And we're just not there yet. We just need more time for Marathon. Clean Spark. I still like this chart. I still like the trade that I'm in. Stop loss would be lower lows here at 15. Ugly reversal day today, but it is what it is. It keeps trying to break out of the cloud. It's a really tight consolidation here. Somebody's going to tell me something about fundamentals being something with something market cap. Okay, whatever. That's fine. I still like how this looks. It's still in this mega trend since 2022. So I still think it looks fine. It's one of the stronger miners for sure. Are they overvalued is the question. I don't know. I can't answer that well. Riot. Worse chop than Mara. I don't see a trade here at all. There's no trade. And the amount of miners here that are chopping around is probably an indication to not trade WGMI and just trade the individual names, as I kind of am doing here. IREN had the breakout above the cloud. Great. You got bullish continuation. You got bullish continuation out of this triangle. Great. Didn't quite reach the target. What was this target here? Same target. Is it the same target? Yeah, I guess it is. Maybe this is a falling wedge. Right? Something like this into the cloud. I think the two trades on IREN here are you either buy support at the Kijun, which it basically is now. You wait for this to get deeper in the wedge and then wait for the potential of a bullish TK cross price above cloud. That's going to take another month if we see that. So I don't think there's anything super soon to do other than potentially just buy support. Cores looks like WGMI. I think this is just up a lot quickly. It's just not for me. Cypher looked good as in it was in some sort of consolidation pattern for a long time, over a year. Finally had a breakout, pulled back, okay, fine. And then yesterday we had some news that Cypher's shopping around a sale. I don't know if that's why the TA looked good, but the TA looked good ahead of that, and that's why I took that trade. I was accumulating this, and this is what I mean by individuals versus WGMI. Cypher still looks stronger to me than WGMI necessarily, and definitely most of these others, as is CleanSpark. CleanSpark to me looks like a better option than most of these others. Bitfarms is another one that into August, September, October, there's probably a better trade here, but it's setting itself up for a inverted head and shoulders. Yeah, to me, there's a lot of that going on too, which is good for the miners. That may be why we're seeing hash rate drop off as well. There's just a lot of stuff going on, but the AI trade for the miners is bullish for them individually. I don't think it means much for the network of Bitcoin, but that's part of it. And he mentions HUT in the comment here, but I don't see a great setup for HUT. It's basically back to April 2022 levels. It was at this level a couple times. Probably want to look at this in like the 3-day or something. Just huge ranges, huge. If you take everything off. Epic turbo monster chop, you know, like it's almost getting to the point where it's ready, but I still like Q4. So let's say you like XYZ miner, just DCA, right? DCA and wait it out. This could be a right shoulder upcoming here. I don't know. It doesn't look amazing. I like Cypher and CleanSpark better as a setup. Hive, same thing. What is this? This is nothing. This is just ranging. Ranging. I don't see anything here about Hive. Wolf, like Iren, looked really good. This was why I took the Cypher trade too. Very similar breakout with Cypher, similar breakout with Wolf. The trend is still bullish, undeniably. This seems to be a fine miner to DCA as well. It looks fine, you know? It looks fine. I don't see any issues with it. There isn't like a breakout trade here pending. It is what it is. It looks better than Marathon, Riot, Hive, HUT. It looks better than all those to me. So I'd rather focus on Iren, Wolf, CleanSpark, Cypher over the rest of them. SDIG. This thing probably explodes eventually as a company, I'd imagine. I don't know anything, but it's not for me until it's back above 10, basically. This could be some epic Wyckovian accumulation. I don't know. It's just, over time, you'll find buying at the bottom of a range probably puts you in a worse spot than at the top, which is counterintuitive for sure, but what you want is strength on your side. You want momentum on your side. You don't need to be bottom tick Nancy here, okay? Like, waiting on this is going to make more sense, for sure. Gree is another one. Just needs time. I don't know. Not bullish. BT, maybe this one along with, what did we say? Bitfarms. I don't know anything about the fundamentals of this one, but this looks okay. You see how it's back at the highs of the range? I would much rather touch this than Marathon or Riot. This looks like it's trying to have some strength. ETH ETF is on the 23rd. You have to buy strength after the dip. yeah, the issue is this could be the dip that keeps dipping on something like Stronghold. I don't know. It looks good here. You'll look like a hero, but realistically, I don't think this is where you want to touch it. Anyway, a few more crypto things real quick. INJ. I mean, you know what I'm going to say. It's not really, it's giving needs more time. We'll put it like that. It's giving needs more time. Not bullish, not bearish, neutral. SSV, is that? Okay, that's not crypto. We'll take a look at that as well. Okay, miners just finished. So overall, I like Bitfarms. I like BTBT. I like IREN, and I like CleanSpark of the list. Somebody gave me more stuff. Roblox is RBLX, right? EINTC, Twillo, MSOS. Sure. All right. Let's go to legacy indices here. On Monday, the video was titled Indices Look Stretched, meaning overbought. We talked about the TKC clamp. We talked about none of this stuff looking amazing up here. So to me, it's not a surprise that we're pulling back. Just look at how far we were above the blue line, let alone the red line. But it was getting to a point where it just didn't make sense, the speed at which we were going up. We also fully hit the target of the low time frame consolidation. So it makes sense that we're pulling back to me. I don't think it's like some panic. This is what should happen. So into August, September, we may just chop around, but I don't see anything that's screaming turbo bearishness. It's just we were so overbought. This is, can you see this? Yeah, you can. There was a divergence at the very end on the daily. It's subtle, but it's there. If you were looking for it, you know, we did get a higher high at the very end with RSI on the way down. So I'm not turbo bearish on this. It just needs time to relax. Just too much too soon. So it needs time. The Qs, same thing. They hit their low time frame targets. There was a bear div on this. It did have overbought conditions on the TK lines. It just needs time. So everything was up a lot, super quick. It just needs time. I'm not worried about it. The Qs had a more obvious divergence. You know, RSI coming down, price going up. But I think that was well forecasted before this happened, personally, as far as being overbought. IWM broke out for a couple days, now is pulling back. It's negated the head and shoulders, great. It arguably has some sort of Wyckoff and accumulation markup thing. So if you're bullish small caps, I think you buy the eventual pullback to like 200, 210, something like that. But here, I don't think there's anything to do. I think you just wait or you buy sub 210. DJI looked good ahead of the breakout. Unquestionably, it was above the cloud. This is always when you're going to see the best trades. They're always going to be above or below the cloud as far as pre-breakout or breakdown. It's a great way to pick up on the momentum early. So is there anything here? I mean, not really. Not really. Maybe like 40,000 is a rebuy, but there's nothing here. Nothing at the moment. DXY up a little bit today, retracing yesterday. Chop, just huge chop. Huge mega turbo ultra uber chop. When we finally see a direction in DXY, that should be the deciding factor for BTC, for equities, all that stuff. We're just not there yet. Down is good for us, up is bad. That's about as far as we can go. HYG, I'll show you an interesting chart on HYG. So HYG is junk bonds. If we look at the credit cycles around halving, what we tend to see, this is another way to just confirm the liquidity situation has turned a corner, but what we've seen around the halving periods is a favorable credit cycle, a favorable liquidity cycle. So to see HYG at the bottom and turning up is super bullish based on what we've seen historically. It's just another way to confirm the liquidity picture. If we look at the global, do they have it on here? What is it? M2. I guess I want global M2, don't I? So their graph got messed up. If I pull it up on TradingView. So this looks bullish to me. Inverted head and shoulders or something, breakout. The cloud caught it early. It looks good. Global liquidity is somewhere here. Gotta find it. Oh, is it here? It was here the whole time. If we turn off this and that. So global liquidity in the green, and it is at highs. So it's right there. It's right there. So if we get dollar down, liquidity up, perfect, perfect. We're right there. We should see a tailwind off of that. So we're almost there. Just a little bit more time. So that's the indices. TLT down today. Again, I'm going to be beating this drum. This chart looks phenomenal. Phenomenal. Beaten down to a pulp for years. I don't have a great rates picture, but it looks like the 10-year yield is trying to turn down, and that should help TLT a lot. So I like this. I really like this. Just looking at the list here. What else we got? What else we got? Let's go crypto adjacent. Crypto adjacent. Hood. So maybe a week ago or 2 weeks ago, I took 50% profit on this position. I was up 100%. I'm just going to let the rest sit here. I don't think there's anything to do. It looks okay. It's a bull trend, you know. It's going to take time. I like 35 to 40 eventually. But it looks okay. If this gets into the daily cloud again or below the daily cloud, that would be your stop loss signal. But hood looks fine. It's where we talked about. Coin looks like clean spark to me. It just needs time, but it looks ready to go. Looks like it wants to break out, but it needs time. MSTR also looks okay. Looks okay. Just needs time. Like, it needs that final shove, that final catalyst to take it above 17. That's the level, like 1750. We can get rid of that for now. It looks okay, right? It's on the bullish side of the cloud, chopping around. It's about as far as I'd go. BitX also chopping around, also signaling some sort of inverted head and shoulders attempt here. Eventually. Just needs time. Everything just needs time. Toast, I have on here somewhere. I thought, there it is, Toast. Toast was in this range. This is another fintech. If you ever go out to eat to a restaurant, some restaurants have Toast instead of Square or whatever. Is at the top of the range, kind of had a pseudo head and shoulders, kind of broke up. I don't know. If you're bullish small caps, you probably like this here. It's not screaming anything. I don't think there's anything to really do there. INTC on the daily, it's in the cloud, bullish TK cross. Looks like an active edge to edge trade. I don't know. That's about as far as I'd go. Looks okay. I'm still holding it in one of my accounts. Uber, I probably need to close out of this today. That's a stop loss condition for sure. It's below the right shoulder. It's below the cloud. This is telling you this trade setup is negated, invalidated, despite looking really good, despite breaking out. Just this is how the cookie crumbles. It's down 12% since the breakout. Such is life, is what it is. INTC, I mean, all this stuff I wouldn't go heavy into right now. The fundamentals of all these companies are all over the place, so keep that in mind. But I'm just looking at the technicals here. Hood, Coin, Toast, Square, INTC, SMLR, poor man's MSTR. Like everything else, it's pointing to Q4. This looks like the square chart. This looks like the arc chart. I would set an alert at 39. Let me just do that so I don't forget. I would set an alert at 39 and just forget about it, but it looks like it wants to go up. Just got to give it time, but it looks good, just not right now. It's going to look better, potentially, Q4. Yeah, Guzan. I don't think it was malware. I'm sure it was something I approved on the wallet, but I don't know. I still don't know. I do have antivirus on my computer, all sorts of antivirus stuff. PANW looks fine. Looks okay. The problem is nothing really is screaming bullish breakout potential. There was some stuff here that broke up. Like so what is this here? This is just a generic trend reconfirmation. It looks fine. You know, it's doesn't say anything to me. Palantir also looks fine. It's a generic bull trend. There's some sort of bullish channel here. The reason I like TLT so much, the reason I like Pfizer so much, the reason I like Lucid was another one. I love watching something scrape the bottom for months and then coming into it. Or seeing some sort of bullish confirmation, reconsolidation, something. It's like this chart still looks phenomenal to me. Phenomenal. That's why I like the Uber chart so much, right? Uber pulled back and then looked like it was ready to go and just didn't do anything. Didn't do anything. What else? SMLR. So we'll look at commodities, chips. Let's look at NVIDIA. SMCI is another one. It's close to the stop loss level as far as below the cloud, but I don't know. I still think this is a trade. It looks fine. Doesn't look great. It's tried to break out 3 or 4 times and just hasn't been able to. You know, what do you do here? Do you take a trade? Probably not. Do you get stopped out? I'm gonna wait on this one today, but admittedly, it doesn't look great. Nvidia looked like it had a head and shoulders a couple days ago. Now it looks like it's got an M double top. So even though this didn't break down initially, it just didn't look like it wanted to keep going. And now it definitely doesn't look like it wants to keep going. So this doesn't need to go to 0, but it needs time. It needs time to morph into something that's more bullish than this, because that does not look good. That does not look good. Just like on Bitcoin, the M double top didn't look good, you know? So I don't have a great technical argument for this. You're probably going to see a bearish TK cross coming up here. So the next thing to watch for would be what we saw in May. Bullish TK recross, price above cloud. This may form into another inverted head and shoulders in the next couple of weeks. It just needs time. It needs time. Needs time. Needs time. All right, Uber, SMCI, we talked about those. Let's go Ford. Someone asked about that in the comments a couple days ago. Ford. This looks okay, right? What do we like about it? It's almost out of the weekly cloud. It's been struggling for years down here. Years, right? Just nothing for years. You could also say it's got like a low time frame head and shoulders breakout. It's a mess. It's a hot mess, but it doesn't look bad. Doesn't look bad. Doesn't look bad. While we're on cars, Tesla. I didn't hear anybody talking about the inverted head and shoulders besides me a couple of weeks back. And I was talking about this thing for a while. I even did there's a trading view chart that I did on it. I was so convinced. So that happened. That breakout happened. Up here, what is this? This is nothing. This isn't an entry. This is an exit. If you were playing that pattern, this is classic retail, right? We get a little bit of momentum and it's like, blah, I can't help myself. I must buy it all. And then it just doesn't maintain that. And it just slows down and that's it. So I would want to see not a double top, which is kind of what it's looking like. I would want to see a consolidation up here for another entry, or 218, 220, something like that. But this is up here, this is nothing. I wouldn't touch this. Even if this goes to 300, I wouldn't do anything differently. This does not look bullish to me up here. Lucid was another one we talked about last stream. Somebody pointed it out. I didn't buy it. I should have. Because again, the cloud is always telling you, this is bearish, and it was bearish for years. Oh, bullish. That was the entry. It still doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad. It's just Lucid, the company, fundamentally might not exist tomorrow. I don't know. It looks okay here. You probably want it to come back to the cloud closer to 315. I don't know. But the breakout happened. So it had a little taste of success there for a day or two. If this was anything else, I'd say, you know what? This is a bullish breakout. This should lead to bullish continuation. But with some of these EV companies, this is also a Trump trade, by the way, because if EV subsidies disappear, companies like this should do worse, right? So this could be your Kamala hedge, your Trump losing hedge would be something like this, where EVs continue to do well. XLE energy ETF still chopping around, back at the range, just chopping around. It looks fine. It looks fine. Also a Trump trade because Trump's administration is likely to be less restrictive with regulatory stuff here on the energy companies. Looks okay. Looks okay. This is also the reinflation trade. That's about as far as I'd go. I think I'm flat on this position as far as the spot position, the common position. The options trade I took zeroed out despite breaking out insanely and then doing nothing for a long time. It is what it is. It is what it is. But I still like this. This doesn't look bad. Doesn't look bad at all. It's back to the breakout level. It still has potential upside here. So you could set up the what is it? The donkey and the elephant portfolio, where we're long XLE, and against that we're long Lucid, and against that we're long crypto, and against that we're long what else does the left like? I don't even know. Pfizer. You know? Yeah, sure. Protect yourself from everything. Just hedge against all your hedges. A few others here. Disney. I don't see anything on Disney. Just slop and chop. Needs more time. Q4 is where it's at. Man, if Q4 pans out how it does, there's going to be so many trades to take. So many trades. So many setups. It's going to be feast or famine. We're in the famine right now. This could be a huge head and shoulders. So I like an alert. I like an alert at like 116. Just make this into 2026 just in case. Yeah, an alert at 116. Looks like Square, right? Looks like SMLR. Looks like a lot of these charts that look the same. IGV is the software ETF. I should probably do these in some sort of order, but whatever. Looks okay. There's not really a trade to take there. Same thing with SMH. I'm guessing SMH is getting schmammered. Yeah. Adam and Eve, double top, whatever, does not look bullish. The next trade to take on this, just like NVIDIA, is going to be bullish TK cross price above cloud, probably September. Probably September. Yeah, counter trade all your biases. Long oil, long EVs, long crypto, long Pfizer. All right, so that's those. So commodities, I think it's all, Twilio, MSOS, Roblox. Okay, let's do those. Roblox, this had a massive consolidation, didn't it? Yeah, same thing, same chart. Same as Disney, same as SMLR. There's just going to be so many trades. Let me tell you, there's going to be so many trades. Just not now. I mean, you could always like get DCA or whatever into this stuff, right? We're close enough. It's not like we're in mid-June and we're still ranging. We are, the way we're setting all these up, we're setting all these up for a liquidity infusion, rates coming down, a Republican administration. That's how we're setting up for on all these charts. This looks ready to explode. It's a beach ball underwater. It's a coiled spring. So this looks really good. I should probably set an alert at like 42. One of these days, like in this next month or two, I'm gonna get like 15 alerts. It's just like everything's breaking out, guys. Looks good. All right. Twilio. Twilio. Same chart. Same as Roblox. Needs time. Clearly there's a diagonal support there. This looks like it takes you into 2025. But I like where your head's at. I like where your head's at. Let me just add an alert to this one. Boopity boop. Sounds good. MSOS. This was the Devil's Lettuce ETF. Ugh. This looks like bong water, bro. Nothing. Just junk. Absolute junk. Maybe something bullish later, but nothing here for WSOS. All right, commodities and banks, and then we'll get out of here. Commods. Gold looks fine. No notes here. It's got that look. Whatever this thing is. Rising, right-angled, blah. I don't know. I forget the name of this. Right-angled wedge. Rising right-angled wedge or something. Looks fine. Silver. Hi-ho silver. Looks fine. Nothing. I don't see anything here. There's a really ugly, like, head and shoulders if you tilt your head, but I don't see anything there. Oil. Chop. Nothing. We want oil down for crypto to be bullish. We do not want inflation coming back. We do not want energy being expensive. Range chop. Range chop. Interestingly, if this doesn't break down into 2025, the cloud will eventually go bullish into 2025. But this is a huge potential multi-shouldered, multi-headed, head and shoulders, generational. Watch out. Like, if anything, this signals recession soon, because if this breaks down, that would probably be because of a global recession. So that would be like sub 50. Oil sub 50. We're probably in trouble. COPX looks ugly. Real nasty reversal today. This is another one I probably should close today. I don't know if it's in profit anymore. It might still be barely in profit, but I don't hate where this is sitting on the cloud. It just is a failed breakout. Maybe a head and shoulders there, low time frames. Give me 15 technical analysts. They're going to tell you that that's not a pretty looking chart. So I'd be careful with that one. Daily daily bearish breakdown on the cloud, so that needs to be taken pretty seriously. For sure. For sure. WPM still looks good. This is the gold and silver miner. Looks fine. No issues here. Probably some sort of bear div, I'd imagine. No, not even a bear div. It looks great. Looks great. Uranium daily also looks junky. High time frames look junky. I should probably close this, but I'm stubborn and it's a small position, and I wanna be in uranium. So this is not favorable for continuation here, but I'm sticking to it. I still think it looks fine. Over the long term, just not great here for sure. Let's be clear about that. Not a great day for commodities. Platinum and palladium, kind of like a Pfizer foil. It looks bad. It looks bad. Probably sees a new lower low. Probably has some sort of like head and shoulders thing here. Just a whole bunch of nothing in this range. Whole bunch of nothing. Whole bunch of nothing. UNG. If there's anything else, let me know, and then we'll close her out for the day. Natural gas. What is this? I think somebody asked for wheat. This is a down-only chart, bro. It doesn't look great. I don't know. Maybe there's a trend line there. Maybe you see something like this, but that does not look good. Does not look good. Why is ETH down 10% today? That makes no sense whatsoever. I wonder if there's some sort of discount that's blowing out on ETH. Excuse me. Anyway, I think that's all we got. Down day based on just being overbought for a bunch of time. The most hilarious thing here is that as soon as the number of things going up widened out, as soon as tech rolled over, it just brought the whole thing down with it. So this really isn't tech's fault. It's just that the moment that things got remotely bullish for the small caps, it was just over. So the next thing to watch for is what do we do when rates come down in probably September, when we actually get that rate cut. All right, a few more. Somebody wanted a non-core. IGR. NERC. I think he was the one with the good charts last week. Yeah, head and shoulder, inverted head and shoulders. Great textbook. Breakout looks great. It's global real estate, so be careful with that one. Something about rolling ETH into the mini trust. Could be. TRMB, Trimble. I don't know what this is. Looks okay. Looks okay. Is it a home builder? I don't know what it is. UPST, is this the... No. There's some notes on there. I guess it's trying to break out. Just looks like chop and slop. ARC-Q. Technology and robotics. Yeah, that looks better than ARC, undeniably. You have got a... something going on here. I like it. I like it. Looks good. I'd have to look at the holdings, but the chart looks really good, for sure. Beam. Beam. Nothing? Doesn't look like anything yet for me. SDGR. Schrodinger. What is this one? This looks like just a gross range. The grossest range you've ever seen. I have no idea what this is. Is it a diamond? Is it a head and shoulders? Is it an inverted head and shoulders? I got nothing. It's Schrodinger's head and shoulders. Grab. Yeah. Maybe something? Is this like Grubhub? I don't remember what Grab is. I think you wait for the high, but doesn't look horrible. Doesn't look horrible. FTAI, last one, he says. Wow. I'm gonna be that's the best chart we've seen all stream, chat. That's the best chart we've seen all stream. That's the chart dreams are made of right there. Up only. Up freaking only. It had a breakout in October 2023, and it's been nothing but up since then. And before that, it had a breakout in December 2022. This is an insane chart. Insane. That's what we want crypto to look like. That's what we want crypto to look like. All right, I think that's all we got. Thanks for hanging out. Give me a like, dislike, whatever, comment, and we'll talk Sunday. Be careful with your wallets and DeFi. It is a brutal, brutal world out there. MU, last one, Micron. Yeah, with the other chip stuff, just not looking great. Got to be careful. Lots of bubblicious. Not saying it's the top, but lots of bubblicious stuff with the chips. Lots of momentum, kind of rolling over. And I think it just needs time. It all just needs time. Thanks, guys. Gals. Take care, everybody.